What's up, guys? Hoarder here, and welcome back to another episode in my beginner metal detecting series, where each and every week I show a new metal detector priced under $200 so you guys can see what it can do and what it can't do and find out if this might be the machine for you. And why did I choose $200? Because that's how much I found in modern change alone just last year. And I'm not talking about silver and gold and Colonial coins and all the cool relics you see every week that make this hobby exciting. Just modern change I can roll up, schlep to the bank, and pay off the machine. And on the bench this week is a company known around the world, Teknetics, a company that's got big brother and big sister machines like the Omega and the Patriot and the T2, which some people swear gets more depth than any other machine. But we are going to open up the Delta 4000 metal detector. So let's rip this puppy open, see what it can do. All right, so here it is, guys, the Teknetics Delta 4000 metal detector. We're going to open this up. This box does not open up like this, it opens from the side. So we're going to slide it over and take a look at the contents. Very similar box layout to the Bounty Hunter. It is the same company that makes both. There's a search coil. It looks like it's an 8-inch concentric search coil. And let's slide it this way. Just like the Bounty Hunter, pre-assembled arm cuff control box already on there. Should be a fast assembly. And you got two rods. There's a lower rod. Taped in up here is a middle rod. And an instruction booklet. All right, pretty easy. Again, super quick assembly. I love these. And this Delta 4000, I'm actually really excited. It's got some good features. So let's lay it all out and get a better look at it. So here's everything that came in the box, unassembled so far, but just an overview of what you can expect to get. You do get an owner's manual, user's guide, whatever you want to call it. Goes over all the features and settings, how to assemble it, which should be like butter. Even comes with two little rubber gaskets that go on the bottom of the lower rod. Helps lock the coil into place. You do get an 8-inch concentric search coil, which is waterproof. Almost all metal detectors, the search coil itself is waterproof. It's the control box that may or may not be. You get your middle and your lower rod. The upper rod has everything mounted already. Arm cuff already mounted, control box already mounted. Really easy to put together. You just got to get these push pins and stick it in there. I will do the quick assembly because I know everyone loves the hokey music. And of course, super decorative box. This box is also on the shelf in Targets and Walmarts. And when you're in stores like that, you better have a good looking box, and they never fall short on that. So let's mount this camera up and do a quick assembly. So there it is, the Delta 4000 metal detector by Teknetics. And even putting it together, the arm cuff itself's got padding in there. And when I was looking at the box, it is just packed full of features. This is going to be a fun one to play around with. It runs on one 9-volt battery, not included, but I got a boatload of them inside. So I'm going to slap a 9-volt in, fire this thing up, and dive into that control box. All right, so let's take a look at the Delta 4000 control box. Before I turn it on, over here on the left-hand side, under this rubber flap, is your headphone jack. It's a 1/4-inch headphone. I do recommend using headphones. You'll be able to hear those squeaky little faint signals much better, and you won't bother people around you. Just be careful if you're detecting near a highway or near the edge of a cliff or something like that. Let's turn it on. Here's our power button right here, and we'll take a look at the screen. So as soon as you turn it on, you saw those 2-digit numbers. There's 5 of them. Flash up real quick. That's your serial number. It's a 10-digit serial number. It's also listed on the back in your battery compartment. Make sure you write that down and register your machine on their website for their warranty. I think it's a 5-year limited warranty. And it turns it on, it puts you right into discrimination mode. Discrimination mode, here's your basic settings. Everything is turned on except for iron. So if you just turn the machine on and go, you will not hear iron. You will hear everything else. Big right in the middle is your target ID. It'll be a 0 through 99 number, which will help you determine what you're digging. And down here, of course, your notch ranges. So if I swing something over it like this big $50, you're going to see down here, notch segment $50, target ID 92. Those two pieces of information together will really help you figure out what you might be digging. Now this is a 3 different mode machine. You have discrimination mode, which is the default mode we're in. You have an all metal 1 and an all metal 2. All metal 1 and all metal 2 are a 1-tone mode. You're only going to hear 1 tone for every target you swing over. So if I swing over an iron bolt or a $50, it's going to give you the same tone. Iron bolt, $50. You'll see the target ID will change, but you're going to hear the same 1 tone. The difference between all metal 1 and all metal 2 are the ground balances are set up a little bit different, so you may get more depth on one than the other depending on where you live and the soil conditions and the environment you're swinging in. The discrimination mode, usually you get a little bit less depth, but I do like the extra tones you get. You figure out which mode works best for you. Also, the discrimination mode will allow you to discriminate and notch out different segments down here. All metal, you do not have that option. It's all or nothing. So let's take a look at those discrimination levels in the discrimination mode. So I'm going to mode back to D, which is discrimination. Right off the bat, you have sensitivity. I just use my up and down arrows to change that. I can lower the sensitivity down to 4, and I can raise it up as high as I believe 11 or 12. If you max out at 12, your machine might run erratic like this is. So you lower it down a little bit. Try to find the sweet spot for your area. The more sensitivity you're going to get, the deeper it's going to go. But as you saw, the higher you raise the sensitivity, the more prone your machine is going to be to picking up interference. The next one, if I hit menu again, brings me down to the disc level. Like I said, right now, iron is not on. So if I were to plus, I would erase more things. If I plus again, I get rid of foil, nickel, aluminum, zinc, and so on. If I hit the minus button, I bring them all back in, including iron. So now I'll hear everything. You'll always discriminate things out from left to right. You'll bring them back in from right to left. Also, when I plus, right now iron's gone, so number 40 comes up. I'm only going to hear things 40 and above, which would be foil and above. If I get rid of foil again by hitting plus, well, now I won't hear foil. I'm only going to hear nickels and above, which would be 55 and above. So as you're discriminating things out, you also see the target ID number, which you're only going to hear from that and going up. And I'll put them all back in again. Notch works similar to discrimination. The notch will let me remove individual segments instead of just left to right. So if I menu down to notch, I use the plus button, you're going to see iron is blinking, plus, foil's blinking, nickel's blinking, aluminum blinking. I let it go for a second. Aluminum goes away. So now I'll hear everything below aluminum, everything above, but I won't hear aluminum. Same thing, if I'm still in notch, I'll just plus again. You see it's flashing. If I left aluminum, it would come back in, but I'm going to skip it and go to zinc, and zinc's going to go away. Now I don't hear zinc. So that's how you're going to use notch, and I can use them together. So if I want to, while those are missing, if I menu back to discrimination level, hit my plus, get rid of iron, get rid of foil, now I'm essentially in coin mode. I'm only going to hear nickel, dime, quarter, and 50-cent signals. That doesn't mean you're only going to dig those coins, you're just going to hear those signals. And then if I forget what I did or I want to revert back, just turn it off, back on again. It'll cycle through, serial number, show you the small d that you're in discrimination, and the default setting is everything is on except for iron. So you would just mode down, minus, now you hear everything. Now, if you remember, I said all metal is a 1-tone mode. Well, discrimination is a 3-tone mode. You're going to hear 3 different tones, a mid, a low, and a high. I'm going to swing 3 different things over it that'll cause those different tones. Here's a low tone. Here's a mid tone, a nickel. And here's a high tone, $50. So you're going to hear 3 different tones. You're going to get the notch segment lit up down below, and you're also going to get the target ID. Really gives you a lot of information on your target way before your shovel even touches earth. And then off to the side, you have your depth. So if I hold it really close, you see 1 bar, that means it's really shallow. And if I swing it further away, you're going to see now I have 4 out of 5 bars, which means obviously your target is much deeper. If your depth is totally maxed out, that means it's probably going to be 8 to 10 inches if it's a coin-sized object. And underneath of it, you have your battery indicator light. Right now it's got 2 of the 3 bars because I've been using the same battery on the last 2 or 3 machines. I'll put a fresh one in. But I'm going to line some coins up. We're going to run over it with some air tests, try to see what kind of depth we can get, how consistent the target ID is, how consistent the notch segment is. So let's line those coins up and see how it does. All right, even though air tests are not a true test of a detector's depth, because I do it for each video, that way you guys have some sort of a benchmark, I'm going to run the same 4 coins over that I do every one, and then a few miscellaneous objects so you can see what kind of target ID you're going to get. I do have the sensitivity maxed out, so you're going to hear intermittent beeps like that. Like I said, the sweet spot's a little lower than the max, but I'm just trying to give it everything it's got to hit these coins as deep as possible. So let's start off with the Buffalo nickel, and I'll put up also a chart of how all the other machines did. Good luck to the Delta. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. Over 10. I'm going to say 10, maybe 10.25, which is nuts. That might be the winner so far of all of them. Let's try the mercury dime. Again, you might not be able to run your machine as high a sensitivity as I have, but you might. Who knows? Mercury dime. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, lost it up there. About 8.5 inches on a mercury dime in the air. Usually you're going to get more depth in the ground because it's denser. So that's really impressive. Let's try the silver quarter, 1927 standing Liberty quarter, one of my favorite quarters in the whole wide world. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 inches solid on the standing Liberty quarter. That's really impressive. I like how crisp the tones are too. They don't sound scratchy or grunty. And then the Walking Liberty $50, 1940 big sucker. You find a coin like this, you're having a heck of a day. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, occasionally over 10. I'm going to say somewhere around 10, 10.25. Very well done. Impressive on those. And I'm going to real quick run over a few other things. I'm not going to really go for depth, just target ID so you can see how they're going to come up on the screen. Iron nail, zinc penny, copper penny, Indian penny, and a fatty Indian. A couple different buttons, solid gold ring, and a Morgan dollar. Let's just see how they come up. I'm going to start with all the pennies. Start with the zinc penny, 1983 to current day. I'm not sure the target ID number, but you guys will see it. Then we're going with a copper penny, 1982 back all the way to, 09, I guess. That's a higher tone, I can hear it. Then we got 2 different Indians, a regular Indian and a fatty. Usually the fatty comes up lower with a lower target ID. Let's see, I'm going to go with the regular Indian first, the thin, and then the fat. Here's the regular Indian. And now the fatty. Same tone, I can't see the target ID number, but normally they come up lower. And then a few different things. We're going to run over a couple of buttons just so you guys can hear how they sound. It's a mid-tone, I don't know the target ID number. Another button. And then a tomback, which usually comes up really low. All mid-tones. Solid gold ring, 14 karat. You might have saw me dig it in just a few videos ago. And usually it hits this pretty far out. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost a foot out. And if I turn it this way, usually less depth when I turn it this way. So you start to get scratchy. And then the Morgan dollar, you might not dig one of these in your life, but if you swing over it, it might just sound like this. That's probably got to be up around 95, 96 if I could see it. So just a general idea what they're going to sound like, what target IDs, and the ranges you're going to see it show up on the notch ranges. But let's throw some real life tests down the ground, see how it performs. All right, real quick, I want to go over the pinpoint button. It's a great function on any detector, and this one is really accurate. On the ground, I put a little silver mercury dime. I doubt you'll ever find one on the surface like that, but you never know. So if you're swinging along, and you hear a signal. Move your coil off to the side, press and hold the pinpoint button. You're going to see a 2-digit number comes up. That's your depth. As you get closer to your target, the depth will decrease and the pitch will increase. And when you get to the highest pitch, you know it's right dead center in the middle of your coil. Of course, you don't want to start digging dead center. You want to actually start digging back here and work your way around, because if you dig right dead center, you're going to carve that coin up like a Thanksgiving ham. All right, we're going to do my last test too. The $50 underneath of the iron bolt. On some machines, that iron bolt just totally drowns out the good tone underneath, but on better machines, it'll hear the little surface area and give you that higher tone. Maybe not as high as it would if the coin was by itself, but at least enough for you to investigate. Let's check it out. And this machine does not have a backlight. The angle that I happen to be standing in makes it look good. If I were to turn it like that, you would see like shadows coming up, kind of like that. But if I hold it just like this, you can see it. Let's see if it can get it. Good luck. That's really good. That's a good high tone. Now don't forget, that $50, if it was by itself, would be way over to the right on its knock segment, and the target ID, I think, was like a 94, 95. So it's hitting a little lower, but it definitely knows something is good there. That iron bolt is dragging the VDI number down a little bit, but you would definitely investigate that. Well done. So there it is, guys, the Teknetics Delta 4000 metal detector. And I gotta say, in the beginner metal detecting category, this is a really good machine. There was a few things I didn't like about it, not a whole lot. Number one, no backlight. When there's no backlight on this LCD screen, every little bit of glare comes down. You have a hard time seeing it. You might not have noticed it in the video, but that's because I had to hang up big blankets and big towels and all sorts of things behind the camera so you didn't see that glare, but it's definitely there. A backlight, always appreciated. And the other little thing I didn't like about it, and I'm really nitpicking, even though it comes with this beautiful padded arm cuff, it doesn't come with the strap. Most detectors, almost all of them, have a little strap you put over there, kind of goes over your arm and holds it in there tight. That's an additional add-on for this machine. That's kind of weird. Doesn't cost a whole lot. I don't use it personally. It'd be nice to throw that in the box too. But what did I like about it? Oh man, there was a lot. I got to start off the 2-digit target ID. Oh man, that takes detecting to a whole nother level. Instead of having just a few notch segments that a whole plethora of stuff can fall into, to have a 2-digit number gives you specifics of what you might be digging. You're going to dig a lot more better targets, a lot more better, and you're going to dig a lot less junky targets, because you're going to start to memorize, oh, a 56 is a pull tab, but a 58 is a nickel, or something like that. That really helps. I also like the build quality. On a lower end beginner machine, it's got really good build quality. From the padding on the arm cuff, which is really nice, to the rubber protector on the headphone jacks. You don't get dirt in there. Even the buttons, they're countersunk buttons. When you're metal detecting, you got dirty hands and you're touching buttons, you get little pieces of dirt in there. They're all countersunk with a nice piece of plastic over it. And the shaft itself, even though it's those little push buttons that feed together, they also have these little locking cam locks, so it doesn't feel real wobbly when you shake it. All in all, I think it was a really good machine. I'm going to give the Delta 4000 3.5 out of 5 stars in the beginner metal detecting category. It met all my expectations. Normally, the Teknetics Delta 4000 retails above my price point. I think around $229. But the good people at Teknetics are giving a special price. You can get one for $199. Gets under my criteria. So check out the description below for a link and a discount code, so you can pick yourself up a quality machine at an affordable price and go out and find yourself some treasure. And tune in next week, another machine on the chopping block, another one that you've all heard of, another American-made brand, Garrett. I'm going to have the first of their Ace machines. I got a few of them coming up. Can't wait to check that one out. So otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy hunting, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.